Hello everybody, my name is Jason Swisher. I want to talk about monitor setups today. I think it is one area for houses of worship that is not covered very thoroughly. It's approached in a really kind of a bad way, but I want to show what we did with our house of worship when we upgraded. I want to thank Stephen Markland who helped us with the upgrade. We replaced 2 analog consoles. I had a commercial grade front of house, and then I had an Allen & Heath monitor console with an active splitter, but it was vintage, and it was Sammy Kershaw's first touring rig that I got off of his old Soundman. So I'm going to tell you how I mic everything, but you may not like the mics I use, so don't use them. Use whatever you want. Sound and music are both opinions, so I'm not here to start debates. If you have questions, you can PM me. That's fine, I'll answer them. But if you're going to rip on the mics I use or the board I use, save your breath, because I'm not going to answer. So what we did, for the musicians, we're using the P16s. For the singers, I'm running 5 different open wedge mixes, and I'll explain those a little bit later. But the reason I wanted to make this video is when I've played different events or different houses of worship, I've used the Avion before. I don't personally use that one, but if that's what you like, that is great. But it's just the whole way they would assign the channels on them. And I want to go over for the musicians, because they're more than likely going to be using the P16. And one thing that I always found odd was, like, you had 16 channels to deal with, and then why they had every vocal mic on there, so they'd have like 10 vocal mics and they'd only have 6 channels for the instruments, was just I don't know why you would do that. So let me go over really quick, get to the point. The first channel of our P16 is the kick, and I run that, I pan that right there in the center. 2, the snare. Oh, by the way, number 1 kick is a direct out of the piece to the P16. The snare is a bus, and I have 2 mics on our snare, a top and bottom mic, and I have those blended in, and I'll tell you why when I'm done doing it. I've got the hi-hat and the overhead. I've got 4 channels dedicated to the mics, or 4 mics dedicated to the drums. That way I feel like you can really tune in your own mix. The bass, I have a bus on it, and I'm running 2 channels that I have a direct assigned to it, and then a preamp, so you can blend the direct sound of the bass with a little bit of a hotter preamp sound. Number 6, our guitarist has an amp that he has mic'd, and also it's a bus as well, and I've got 3 channels assigned. I've got the mic on the acoustic, or on the guitar amp. I have an acoustic that's direct, and then I've also mic'd an acoustic amp. 7 and 8, I have those panned right and left, and I'm running the keyboard in true stereo. I'm running on my Leslie. Number 9 is the bottom mic, and I'm using blue mics. They're 57 type. They're really flat, and I really like them because they don't make your Hammond sound like it's whistling. So I run 9 mono, top left left, and I've panned the top right right. 12 is a bus where we run a click, and I also I pan it a little bit left, my click. As you can see how I'm panning that. And I also have the Bluetooth assigned to that on that bus. 13 and 14, what I've done is we have 6 background vocalists, so I put 3 on the left side of the stage, pan to the left, and a 3 on the right, pan to the right. I think it gives a little bit better, cleaner mix than trying to shove all of them on one channel, and you kind of get a cool effect on that. 15 is the praise and worship leader Seth, that's his mic, and then 16 I use our wireless and lapel mics. Those are what the speakers use. I'm a big believer in microphones. I don't run anything direct except the keyboards out of necessity, and if I had a piano I'd mic it. So one thing that I'm a big fan of is tone. And one thing that a lot of churches sacrifice tremendously is their tone, because when they go to an in-ear application, their real reason of doing is to control the volume.